The first thing people will hear will be your burp. Good job. Good job.
That's how I wanted to start the show.
That was literally the first thing that happens.
Good. So,
hello, everybody, and welcome to BattleCast, where
the very first BattleCast, even.
Of many.
Yeah.
I mean,
more to come, faux show.
Yeah.
As soon as we find more things to fight over.
That's right. We considered making this only an annual thing, a special, if you will, right?
What? No. Why would we do that?
Yeah, that's why we decided not to do that.
BattleCast, we're gearing up the blades to talk about 2012, a retrospect.
Before we all die on the 22nd.
Yeah, we got to get this out now, okay? For those of you who don't know how this works, which would be all of you, there's two teams. Team 1 is going to be... That's a god-awful name. Team Landshark.
Which team is that? Which one is that?
We're Team Landshark.
Yeah, it's going to be GrokMonkey and BerserkerRage. Introduce yourselves, everybody.
Hi, I'm GrokMonkey.
Berserker!
He's Berserker.
And then the other...
Alright, we're good at intros. This is just working out fine.
Yeah, nothing's on fire yet.
Team Smartest and the Strongest is going to be me, and just me. I think that this past year for gaming has been rather meh. Rather not bad, but not good. Just kind of...
Not notable at all.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a year that just kind of floated by under the radar, and these two things...
You're aware a new game console came out, right?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, we'll get to that.
Okay, I mean, hey. And these two things that this past year has just been the bee's knees.
That's going a little far. It's been pretty cool, though.
Oh, man, I'm really into
It's not been bad, certainly.
And bees.
So, bees have 6 knees, right? And bees' knees are pretty cool, but how many of those bees' knees are cool?
Wow, that's amazing. They have elbows?
No.
Wait, they don't have... That was the dumbest question I've ever asked in my entire life, and I meant it in seriousness.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll
never be ashamed of your gift.
We'll determine who the winner is by this noise. Every time someone makes a valid point, we'll be playing this. There you go. And that means they'll score 1 point. Somebody's probably taking score, and
Maybe.
whoever has the most points gets to say the last thing, and they don't get to do the hoedown at the end of the show.
And then they become the leader of the Mongolian hordes.
Test your might. So, since it's 2 versus 1, why don't you guys go first? Tell us why this year has just been stonking bananas.
All right, Taylor, Grok, you go first.
All right, I have in front of me like a really long list of pretty much every video game that came out this year.
He has in front of him. He's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, there's actually an article about every video game, every like super notable game release this year. It's pretty cool.
Are on Wikipedia.
My God. But yeah, most of it's well, not most of it. It's like 1 in 5 is pretty cool.
You heard it first, guys. Every game that's ever come out in 2012 is the best game. GrokMonkey.
True fact. But I don't know what specific reasons you have for saying that it's not notable at all.
I think the majority of AAA games that have come out have just been pretty lackluster. With the exception of maybe like games like XCOM, that really just kind of like blew it away. The games like really power horse strong games that were gonna be like the 20 like they were gonna like drive the holiday season. Games like Dishonored and Assassin's Creed and COD Blops, and Halo 4 even too. They're all good, but it just seems like
there's a lot. There's better than that.
Yeah,
and it's not hard to find better than that. But that doesn't mean that them existing and them coming out isn't also a good thing.
Yeah,
I think I would like to also, like I know your game tastes, and like I'm not saying that you have bad taste or that you bash on games because you don't like certain ones. But,
why else would you bash on games if you don't?
Well, no, I'm just
like,
saying,
why
like,
would you do like, oh man, I like this game. Let me hate it.
well, no, I'm just
That
saying.
doesn't make
I'm
any
just saying
sense.
that you won't just sit there and bash on a game solely because you just don't, have a preference toward it. You would actually tell someone, well, this is the technical reason and everything.
Yeah.
But
So what Bobby's... damn it. What,
it doesn't matter.
what he's trying to say here is I'm a genius and I'm right. And
Point for me.
therefore, I've already won this podcast. And go back home to your super porridge kitchens, everybody.
Super Porridge Kitchen. That's my favorite. That's my favorite retro indie arcade game release.
There's
year.
no games... like, it didn't seem like there was any... like games that are like gonna stick with you, that you're gonna be playing like for months and months and months. And I realize that not every game is like that, but this year doesn't typically have like it doesn't have a Skyrim, or it doesn't have like a Red Dead or something that makes you want to go back and play it after you've beaten.
What you're saying is there's nothing that changes anyone's opinions on gaming happening this year.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that seems to be your rubric, right? Stuff like Red Dead, where it just
it just blew everything out of the water. We didn't have
there's
any
no.
games
There, I mean, I can't. I'm struggling to find words to talk about how awesome Red Dead is.
because it's
just that good.
Point. Let's give a point to Red Dead, just because.
That one.
Yeah. There you
Thank
go.
you, Red Dead.
Ladies
Red
and gentlemen, round of applause. Red Dead Revolver. Wait, Redemption. Son of a bitch.
It's okay. The crowd still loves you.
That trombone hates me though. That trombone is an asshole.
Well, I there might not have been a lot of games that pushed the envelope really. I mean, I definitely would want to throw that to I think XCOM especially, because I didn't know anything about XCOM when it came out, and then I played it and I was like, you don't see a lot of tactical games like that just, I don't know, they stick with you really well.
Yeah.
So XCOM definitely put a point towards it, but I mean at the same time you got to look at every game that's come out, even stuff like, I know a lot of people don't like rehashes and over sequeling things like that, but I'm sitting there thinking okay, Dragon's Dogma was a big deal. There was Max Payne 3, Street Fighter X Tekken, and I mean these were all good games. I played
Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3 and
year.
all of the stuff that it caused, though I'm not really sure if we should give a point to Mass Effect 3.
No, look, the ending. I mean,
Wait, hold on.
this is a whole new different can of worms.
I still have yet to beat Mass Effect 3. Let's not even talk about the ending.
I'm not gonna have any specifics. I'm just gonna say why haven't you beaten Mass Effect 3 yet? Not the issue. I guess maybe you're playing through all of them again or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't really have any problem with it. People are like, oh, it's just different colored explosions. But it's just each one of those explosions actually means totally different things. Like the ending of Mass Effect 1, right? 90% of the ending of Mass Effect 1 is just different colored explosions, essentially, right? You're just talking to a couple of guys,
Really,
and whether
I have the feel I wasn't a big fan of Mass Effect 3 because it didn't. I guess Mass Effect 2, it has the Uncharted syndrome where the second one was so they changed so much and it was so much. I like Mass Effect 2 better than 1. Go ahead and hate me if you want to, PC gamers, but whatevs. There's so much.
PC gamers aren't supposed to like 2. I like 2.
Okay. Most people that play Mass Effect on the PC liked 1 because it was a lot less hold your handy, but. I
don't even know what that term means.
It was less linear, I suppose. I don't know.
It was vaguely linear. You can just play some chapters before others or something. Aside from that, it's.
I don't feel like Mass Effect 3 brought enough to the table in order for it to be it didn't feel like the ending of the game. It just kind of felt like, hey guys, there's a bunch of really big things. Let's put it all in this game. You having fun yet?
No, it's because they're weren't they planning to make a 4? You keep using the same setting, or
there's always going to be a trilogy. Yeah.
I'd heard that there was going to. What? Not the point. I also like the original ending better than the sort of rephrasing where they basically changed words around and make the ending slower so people would understand what the choices actually implied.
I think that's
I
funny.
liked it before that because then it felt like the ending was like anticlimactic almost to me. I don't know, and it made some of the problems people had even weirder. But I can't get into those because you haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'll let
Oh,
you.
great. So, okay, do you guys think that there is a game that's like, yeah, do you think there is a game that's like stand out from the rest, like this is the leader of 2012? What do you guys think your game of the year is for 2012?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Most of the games I'm playing this year are, I mean, and this is not because, man, the games from other years are just better, but just because I finally have a computer that's competent enough to play older games. So I'm mostly just playing older games right now because they're cheaper. So I don't know. I'm not exactly the right person to ask about that.
All right, well,
Okay,
Bob's here.
I've played a lot of the games that came out this year, and I
Yeah.
haven't gotten around to playing all of them that I want this year because I still want to play, you know, the Wii U. I really want to get that. I want to get Assassin's Creed 3.
I still want to get Far Cry 3. That comes out next week. And
I'd like to check that out too.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff about that.
Yeah, but me personally, I think that like the two that stand out in my mind this year are XCOM for one, and Dragon's Dogma. And while I don't think that Dragon's Dogma was like a perfect game, like it had a lot of stuff that could be like, I really hope they make a sequel to that and just tweak it a little bit and give it multiplayer, because that game could shine like beautifully as a multiplayer online game or even co-op. It just has a lot of potential to be like a really great RPG. But the thing I liked is that it did so many things differently. Like, it wasn't just, you know, I mean, it was a little bit of, you know, just run here, hack and slash this, but they didn't give you, like, the gameplay was challenging. They didn't hold your hand and let you just teleport all over the world to quick do everything. Exploring actually got you stuff. And, like, to me, it just felt like, you know, a really, really good, like, first entry into, like, I think it should be a series. I really think that if they made a Dragon's Dogma 2, it would be a great game.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
Like,
Yeah,
I was
especially,
really
I mean,
surprised by how much I enjoyed the game. The only thing I would say that I would take out of that game if I could was the pawns, because I don't like having emotionless characters.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
So,
But-
like, do you
have-
like those games?
I have a game of the year
Attack,
for me.
Taylor.
No. The Last Story for the Wii,
Go.
made by Mistwalker, right? The guys who did, you know, basically what people think of when they think of the developers of Final Fantasy series. They went off and formed
yeah, it was
Mistwalker,
all the
and then
developers, right?
yeah, like including like Nobuo Uematsu doing the music, by the way. Holy shit, Nobuo Uematsu.
Yeah.
Anyways, The Last Story, by the way, is a synonym for Final Fantasy, so I'm pretty sure this is them saying, let's go make our own Final Fantasy with blackjack and hookers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine, and it's a fucking brilliant game. It's got like normal turn-based stuff, kind of, but it's also sort of real-time and really tactical at points. Though, as my older brother proved, you can literally beat the game just by fucking button mashing everything and like, I hit it with a bigger stick now. But
well, I mean, that's a lot of RPGs.
yeah, but you're supposed to play it tactically, and he died like 300 times on the final boss because he refused to just fucking take his time and like direct his teammates correctly. He basically kept trying until he got lucky. But it balances everything you really want in an RPG really well and interestingly.
Do you think Last
I thought it was
Story,
awesome.
though, is enough? Like, do you think it's changed its genre at all? Or
RPGs?
yeah.
It was one of the ones that people were like shitting themselves to get brought to the States because it was so
like
good.
I know it's not technically new, but what
Yeah.
else?
It's new for us.
It Yeah, it released in like January in Japan, turns out, but like everywhere else on Earth released various points of 2012.
Like I think Last Story is kind of doing what Dragon's Dogma does, where it takes things that already exist, and it just refines it to like a really good, really good looking playable game.
My thing is that I was happy to hear that it brought back a lot of stuff from RPGs. Like sometimes I play these RPGs now that we make, and I kind of long for the days when I could just have a classic Japanese RPG. It doesn't even have to have like a brilliant story, but I just want a classic Japanese What happened to turn-based battles? Is nobody patient enough for that anymore?
There are a lot of games with turn-based battles still, but
never
usually they're really poorly done. So
Pursue.
That's not out this year.
Oh, Persona 4 Arena was also really cool.
Okay, that was a pretty cool
was,
way to
it
go
was
about that.
nuts. But
I've heard good things. I haven't played it.
like, I guess the reason that I just think this year is meh is because like all the games that did come out, they just haven't brought any. They haven't advanced.
Even Double Dragon Neon.
What?
Double Dragon Neon, Black Mesa, Faster Than Light.
Double Dragon Neon, Double Dragon Neon is cool, but it's not like, oh, this is the next step. Like,
Dude, Double Dragon Neon is so the next step in beat 'em ups. They made a classic style beat 'em up, and they also made it totally playable and entertaining and interesting and fun to play now with today's standards of shit. Beat 'em ups suck. Seriously, go back and play like some of the early beat 'em up games.
I do. I play Golden Axe the whole time. It's so awesome.
Without nostalgia, though. Like, go play one you're not nostalgic about, and you'll be like, man, this isn't very good. I'm gonna go play that one that I played all the time as a kid.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. I'm a big fan of pretty much any beat 'em up. Like,
most people aren't.
It's and I have to agree with ScribbleScrabble on that one. Not to go against my own team, but I mean, for me, because we played Double Dragon together. We played the entire game through. We beat the game.
Yeah, we have a video about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we do? Oh, man, click this link to see the video. No, don't.
Don't click that link. Don't do that.
Don't.
No,
It'll be on the screen, but we'll be mad at you if you click it.
Seriously, we'll tell your mom. But anyway, we played that whole game through, and it did have a couple little things that you don't see in some beat 'em ups, but the core part of it, you were basically just punching things, getting close to things to punch things so you'll throw things, and jumping to kick things. It was pretty much a classic beat 'em up experience, and
Yeah, with the raw gameplay, but the level design was a lot fresher.
Level design is a straight line.
No, it's not.
And sometimes you're in China, and sometimes you're in space.
Well, I'm gonna go. I get what you're saying,
yeah,
Taylor.
Actually, that's not true for me. The game just has pretty interesting things, like the airlock was pretty cool.
Yeah.
See,
Point to Taylor!
Hooray!
I mean, the level design is it's brilliant. It's a great.
You just said the level design is nothing.
He wants points too.
Just said that. Yeah, I was like,
big
the
deal.
level design is straight, and then you're like, yeah, and then you're like, the level design is brilliant.
No, you're not listening. You didn't let me finish. The level design
Okay.
it's a straight line, but that straight line is made well. Like there's funny things, there's fun things in the straight line.
That is the best straight line that I've ever
It's
seen.
the straightest line.
Is
You couldn't get
Shut up.
you couldn't get a line that straight with a ruler.
No, it didn't work on purpose. Oh no! Oh crap!
Hey, I got a point.
Okay, so
That was a soundboard giving itself a point. We'll all have to deal with that.
Because it didn't work when I clicked it the first time.
Okay. Also, like the games that I do think, I think this is the biggest problem. A lot of the the focus on most of the games that came out were like not on the right games. Like if you go up to anybody, it's like, hey, what are the biggest games that came out this year? They'll say like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and
Halo 4.
Halo, but like there's so many, and Max Payne. Max Payne was really good though. But like there are games like Asura's Wrath they're like nobody played and the game's amazing, and like that's I don't really know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's just all the games that could have done really something, and we're trying to do something else and crazy and amazing.
We're all cock blocked by like the bigger
like
marketing budgets of all the.
Yeah, they were kind of like pushed back to it, and like the games that we were stuck with, like for most people's game of the year lists, they're not going to be like full of games. It's like that you're going to go back like in 3 years and you'd be like, or even later, like and be like,
they're not going to be experiences that sort of like become part of that period.
That become part of the entire gaming
culture.
Yeah, it just feels like we're just taking the next step. And
I have a couple of examples of games that came out this year that do that. DayZ. DayZ does that. That's literally all DayZ does.
Wait, does what? Does what?
Like DayZ is pretty much just like a giant cultural shared experience more than it is a good game.
Oh, okay.
DayZ as it is now, super flawed, but people still play it because unlike pretty much any other MMO, it's not like other MMOs are a game and you share the game experience and it's a very social gaming experience, but it's not a shared experience. It's not like DayZ is like a giant shared hallucination in how you actually play it. I'm not even kidding. The game's about being on your own, but it's about being on your own.
Don't apologize for interrupting people. This is the BattleCast. You're in a war zone, Bobby.
You interrupt someone and they keep talking.
Talk loud. You're like, oh, I'm so.
Somebody needs to punch me a couple times. Ow.
Wait, you guys don't have a sound effect for that? Because I don't. Here, bludgeon him with this drum. Wow, you're swinging that really fast.
It's so fast.
Anyway, in the same vein of MMOs and in Scribb's vein of pushing things forward, I want to plug one of the games I really enjoyed.
Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, Guild Wars 2. And like people are gonna.
I was gonna mention that, but I've heard that the hype for that all over the internet, all over everything. It was critically massive, and then as soon as the game came out, it died immediately. So I assumed that
Guild Wars was doing really well.
I know it's doing well, but you're not listening. I didn't assume that it was bad. I assumed that it was okay, but not like every other MMO will implode because that's just how good it is.
It fell into the same light that Star Wars Old Republic did.
The hype was too big for it.
What Taylor is saying. Would you calm down? Don't tell me to hold on. I'm holding a Coke.
Old Republic had such unbelievably negative hype, though. And then people were like... and then the hype all died, mostly because it was like, yeah, well, it's actually okay. It's not as bad as... It's not as bad as we said, but let's just stop talking about it because we're bored about the topic.
But no, Guild Wars 2 is actually really fun.
That's good. I haven't played it at all.
I'm surprised to hear you say that because you don't even like MMOs.
I hate MMOs, but like it did a lot of things.
Maybe I'll check it out. I also hate MMOs.
it made it accessible to people who don't like MMOs, and it was so good that me. Like a person who doesn't like MMOs played it, and I'm like, this is a good game. I just don't like MMOs, and therefore I don't like it. But it was good enough for it
that you gave it a chance.
Yeah. So point for Guild Wars. Point for Bobby.
All right.
So I feel like vastly outnumbered now. I think you guys have like 3 points, and I have like 1. And Red Dead Redemption has 1.
And the soundboard has 1.
You guys are all tied for 3rd.
No,
or to be 2nd.
You can pull out, Opie.
Someday I'll beat these inanimate objects.
But until then, you gotta be on your toes, man.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll scroll down the list till something catches my eye. You guys keep blathering.
So yeah, I did forget about Guild Wars 2. It did do a lot, but like I don't know. I just remember like watching E3. Me and Grok watched E3 together this year. And like it was always
chunks of it, not all of it, but yeah, it was always E3 is so. I mean, it's no longer a consumer show. It's all.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, eh.
It's all for like
attention to E3 once
shipping executives and
regular
stuff.
People walk in. Once it became press only, I was like, nah, never mind.
Okay, and let's go to the Wii U because somebody wanted to talk about it, right?
I mentioned that it came out this year. and
Yeah.
that's pretty damn notable. That's a lot more than meh. While
Is-
the Wii U right now, really like cool and interesting, but it hasn't met its potential yet.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
that's exactly what I was gonna say. The Wii U came out, yes. So did like that's like saying Mozart was born, but he didn't write his first symphony until he was like 12.
yeah. Right now,
So-
no. It was
Okay,
he was
that's
like
different.
5.
Writing a
Anyways,
symphony when you're 12 is
no,
really
okay. So Mozart started being a really good songwriter when he was 4. Right now, the Wii U's not 4 yet. The Wii U is 2.
In fact, if
Give
your
it some time.
gaming console is really good at making symphonies, you should probably
Not sell that as a consumer electronic device. You should make
Yeah.
something that plays video games good instead.
Yeah, it's like iRobot.
weird.
I don't know.
Like, what was that like construction equipment doing with a direct link to some massive AI thing and with the ability to be remote controlled like that? Who thought that was a good idea?
Like,
That didn't make any sense. We're gonna make all of our super expensive construction equipment that can really easily kill people and destroy houses. Like, just put it on the internet, 24/7.
Why did the on button for Chobits robots? Why is it in their vagina?
That was just that specific robot, and it was supposed to be fucked up.
Oh,
That way, yeah, that way it's like if anyone rapes our daughter robot, she won't remember. Like, that was the thick of that one.
the more you know.
Yeah.
Point for Chobits.
Point for
Oh, maybe we
vaginal
just found
on.
something else.
Oh man, I was drinking.
Okay, so
Drinking is bad for you.
I'm gonna give myself a point. Okay, and
That's your pity point. Enjoy your pity point.
I will. It's right next to me, right here. I have it.
What is with that? It's friends.
I forgot how words for a second. So right. But like we were saying, the Wii U has games out now. Yes.
Yeah, it's got a lot of games out. It really has a like. Let me count them. You keep talking. 1,
But
2, 3.
It actually it has a lot, but
And a lot of them are actually pretty big name games. Ninja Gaiden, Zombie U everyone's looking forward to that. I mean, it's not exactly a big name game.
Zombie
but
U though, you can when you play it, you can feel like that it's a guinea pig game. You're like,
Right, so they're like
that's
they're like-
Nintendo's thing.
they're 24. They're 24 in-store titles, as well as a bunch of I don't know how many, as well as more than 2 like digital titles for the Wii U right now. And I know several of those digital titles are actually really badass. Like there was like a Penny Arcade Report story about one. Because it's like, wow, this is this good, it needs a story.
oh well, look at me, I'm Taylor, and I know how to read.
I'm sorry for being educated.
You should be. Anyway,
It is my shame.
then again, I don't know if anyone can. I mean, if you look at Nintendo, how they do things, usually, because Nintendo is that, they're the company that comes out with the brand new weird technology. 2 screens on a Game Boy, a motion controlled console.
Well, nobody would ever come up with anything for a Game Boy because it's Nintendo's console.
Well, I'm just saying,
Sony
they're the ones that
put 2 joysticks on a PSP,
I'm just
and
saying.
it's the hypest thing. The PSP is the best thing ever. When did the
Vita having
Okay, we gotta have a point for our team and a point for the Vita.
no, the Vita having 2 nubs was a pretty damn big, huge deal. People were like, "This will change everything," and then like the Vita just sort of evaporated, as far as I've heard. But I don't know. I don't really talk to people about.
No, the Vita's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's good, right? Just like the PSP was largely pretty good, pretty cool, right? But
PSP had a lot of really weird trash games too, though.
at least they were interesting, weird trash games. A lot of them.
Yes.
And then there's, I don't know.
I like my Vita because it has Netflix and it has every Persona game I could ever want to play.
So 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And,
Enjoyable consumer electronics.
yeah. So
But
I guess PS Vita came out PS Vita and the Wii U, but like okay.
Didn't the Vita come out, was that this year or last
Yeah,
year?
it came out
Yeah,
this
it was
year.
this year.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But
Yeah,
like
wow,
what?
oh, shit.
Like I can't think of any like great standout games that have come out. Like really. Yeah, really. Like real E. Like Wally, but real.
No way.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
What, you mean Marvel Avengers Battle for Earth isn't remarkable?
The sad thing is that a lot of big name titles that came out, more than the games themselves, I remember the problems they caused. I mean, Mass Effect 3, it caused the whole big debate over whether or not players have the right to complain about that kind of thing, and everyone was mad.
They have a right to like communicate their opinion, but to like demand it be changed then is really dumb.
Well,
Really?
that's a different argument.
Whoa. Like, really?
Like, really?
Dumb.
Really dumb. No,
Dumb.
I'm not saying they're dumb for doing it. I'm not saying that, like, you know, they don't have a right to be unhappy about it. They have a right to wish it was different. But then to demand that that the game is, like, totally redeveloped, because changing the ending at all, you would have to redevelop the game, because there was a lot of foreshadowing from, like, the first couple of seconds, pretty much.
Why are we talking about Mass Effect again?
The ending was... Damn it, I don't know.
Fast forward.
Well, I had my point
And that is why
I mean, there was the whole thing with
everyone is
Mass Effect
secretly
3,
gay.
and then there was the whole ordeal with Marvel vs. Capcom, and Capcom saying that we were going to get extra characters as downloads, and then they just instead came out with an entirely new disc with those characters and made us
They
pay.
did the same thing with Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, they did that same thing with their fighter games, all their fighter games.
So what you're saying is Marvel vs. Capcom is not a fighter game?
I'm saying that with all their fighter games. I'm looping them all together. And then you had...
But Taylor, where'd I put my drum? Bobby needs to get smacked again.
Have you checked under the couch?
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Ow.
Yay!
Do it again, and this time use, like, the cymbal for good measure, or hi-hat, or whatever that is. There you go.
Again.
That one sounded more satisfying.
Hey.
What?
2 jumps to the cymbal, fall off a cliff. Yeah.
How did you do that?
Point for cliff.
You know, he's got a bar named after him. The Cliff Bar. I'm sorry.
Point for the wah-wah sound.
There you go. They should have done that at the same time.
So yeah,
It's
there
an
were a lot
opportunity.
of problems this year, huh?
Well, there were problems, but it was, I think, overall, the good outweighed the bad.
Yeah.
And, like, even some of those, like, even with the problems, I mean, if you put, like, Marvel vs. Capcom in front of my face and told me to play it, I'd play it. I've got Diablo 3 on my computer, and
Diablo 3,
it's...
Let's take a quick survey right here. Which is better, Torchlight 2 or Diablo 3? Torchlight 2.
Torchlight 2, or at least I mean, even if you would
We
say...
got a free disagree. Torchlight 2 is better than Diablo.
No, even if you would say Diablo is better, once the modding tools are out for Torchlight 2, if you continue trying to say Diablo 3 is better, you're just kind of an asshole. Because then you'd be able to make Torchlight 2 whatever. Yeah, you can mod Diablo 3, and it would probably go all fucking weird because it's always online.
Fun anecdote. I was playing Diablo 3 today, and I wanted to name my mage Super Sexy Pants.
Wait. You're trying to get on Bobby's case about playing Diablo 3, and then you're like, you know, today I was playing Diablo 3. No.
Oh, I was over.
No. Point for you. You can't do that.
So I'm like, I was playing Diablo, and I was trying to name my character Super Sexy Pants, and they wouldn't let me do it because the word "sexy" is inappropriate.
I bet it's because the word "pants."
Yeah, you can name your WoW character with something with sexy in it. I see that all the time, so I don't know what Blizzard is doing.
Who knows?
But the thing is that Torchlight did a better job of being a Diablo sequel than Diablo 3, because it's nothing like Diablo 2, but Torchlight took a lot from Diablo 2 and made it, good, like what Diablo 3 should have been. And then the whole decision from Blizzard to make it online only because they offered it as a thing to people who got like a year pass for WoW. Like, so they're like, okay, since we did that, then the game has to be online because otherwise we can't keep track of who will cancel their account after they get Diablo. Well, that's terrible. What if my internet goes out and I want to play Diablo? Maybe I like playing Diablo 2, but what if I want to play Diablo 3? I actually like the gameplay in Diablo 3, but I'm not going to say that it was a good decision for that game to be the sequel.
So what you're saying is 2012 was a meh year because of all these problems.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying.
Saying Diablo 3 was a meh game because of all of Diablo 3's problems?
But the thing is that...
I think that's what he's saying.
I still think Diablo 3 is fun. Like, I've played it. I'm not going to say to anybody, like, if someone
it doesn't have to be perfect for it to be enjoyable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If someone came up to me and they said, "Hey, BerserkerRage, should I play Torchlight 2 or Diablo 3? Because I loved Diablo 2," I would tell them to play Torchlight. Because
Torchlight 2 is way more similar to Diablo 2 than Diablo 3 is.
All right, so Torchlight 2 wins.
Fatality, flawless victory.
Actually, I think Torchlight has 2 points now.
Damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Torchlight.
Okay, so while we have about 10 minutes left in this podcast, I'm scrambling to get my point.
Scramble all the zigs.
Yeah, I don't think any major strides have happened within this year. Like,
what, you mean Medal of Honor Warfighter wasn't one of the best games of this year? Of this decade?
You already made a joke like that, Taylor.
This century?
Yeah, but this one's Warfighter, which is... I haven't played it, but I've seen people play it, and it looks like one of the worst games ever.
Like, Warfighter...
It looks bad.
It's such a bad name. It's like Medal of Honor Gun Shooter.
That's pretty much what it is.
They need to make a shooting game that's straight to the point. Just if they have to name it after something military-ish, like Medal of Honor, Trigger Pullerer.
Medal of Honor.
There's a first-person shooter called Primal Carnage. I have no idea what it's about, but that sounds pretty straight to the point.
I think really the shooter that
dinosaurs. Hold on, there are dinosaurs in this game. Online asymmetrical class-based multiplayer computer game developed by independent game studio Lukewarm Media. The game pits a team of dinosaurs versus a team of mercenaries. What? Primal Carnage provides
I don't know, man. This sounds pretty good.
This game
Hold on, I gotta check. This came out in October this year. I gotta check how much this costs.
That's another point for us. We have Primal Carnage, dinosaurs versus mercenaries.
Hold on. What is the price point on this thing?
But another thing though.
It's gonna be a DLC game mode called Get to the Chopper.
Of course there is.
If that wasn't already a point for us, it would have been there.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, we're gonna give a point for good reference.
No.
That's a point for the game, not for...
Whoa! You're going crazy with all these points.
We just
rein them in.
It's like the points don't matter.
It's like that's a reference to something.
Is it? No, it can't be. No. Not a reference to anything.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
But no, like in all seriousness, I just don't think there's great things that happen. It was just kind of another year that I felt like to get past, so technology advances and like we can have something great happen again. Like, the new consoles coming out or something really like changes the rules, like, Grand Theft Auto will next year, or hopefully BioShock Infinite will, or something. Like, there was no, like, this is the game of 2012. It was all just kind of like, hey, guys, remember that one game that you liked? Here's another one. Cool.
Yeah,
Point for me. Because I made a good point.
Okay. I wasn't listening.
That's not how a debate works.
I'm reading a Wikipedia article about
Famitsu. That happened during the presidential debate.
It wasn't.
Obama turns around. Oh, listen.
No, the moderator is like, you raised a good point, Governor Romney, and then it's like, wait, what?
Romney's
I'm reading about Japanese video game review magazines. You're gonna have to tell me what you said.
Hold on. Tell me what Mr. Obama said later. I'm trying to find out what the review for Way of the Samurai 4 was. Speaking of, that came out this year.
2 out of
I never
40
played it.
probably.
I want to.
It's not a good game though.
We are if you're gonna get Way of the Samurai and it's this late in the series, you already know what you're getting into by buying that game. You weren't expecting a good game. You're expecting a weird ass game that is funny.
You already have half your grave dug.
Yeah,
the
pretty
rest of it, you're gonna dig the rest of it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Way of the Samurai 3 was a big improvement for that series, but that's not the point. Way of the Samurai 4
Well, it's not that great game. You know, if you want to watch it, you can go click on this video. See the two best friends play Way of Samurai 4 is good.
We're just gonna give them unsolicited click-throughs for no reason.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna put anything for them to click.
Like, we're not even gonna tell them about it.
Like
They're
Matt
just gonna be
and
like,
Pat
what's
check
with all
out-
these video views from the direct link from some other video?
Matt and Pat are gonna
Annotation.
check out this podcast, and then you'll be like, "Oh, yo, it's the hype as shit," and then Pat's gonna be like, "I heard everything. I'm a ginger," and then Matt's gonna be like, "Oh man, they didn't talk about Metal Gear Solid, so it's not good." And then Woolie's just gonna be like, "I don't understand why they're not talking about fighting games." Point for the lovely studio audience. No, make a case. Make a case. What was something that happened this year that just 2012? This.
There you go.
Did you just say Legos?
No, I said,
I'm listening.
it was,
Lego Lord of the Rings? Lego
oh
Batman?
yeah. Oh, Lego Batman 2. That's pretty damn
People
cool.
seem to really like those games.
Anyway, who likes Bud?
Turbo Guts?
Nobody paying attention anymore?
No, I couldn't make out part of what you said. It was like, really seems to like those games.
I did mumble, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, like what's something that happened this year that was like, yeah.
A lot of stuff, man. Like the Wii U coming out.
But
Mass
the
Effect
Wii
3
hasn't really done anything.
It's imaginary. It's not real.
The Wii is inside you all along.
All along. Let's see.
Well, I think that it actually, like, even though the Wii U is untested, the idea of it is really interesting, and it is trying something brand new.
Well, that's like saying, hey guys, Transformers is cool, right?
Well, no, it is trying something new. The Wii U is pushing it and trying something new. It is.
Well, no, that's not true, though, because if you remember, we were talking about earlier today how the Wii U was really invented way back in 2004 with Final Fantasy and the Crystal Chronicles, where you could have your own gamepad screen when you linked up your Game Boy Advance. Yeah. Boom.
That's not it. That wasn't it being invented. I don't think you can pretend it's, not fundamentally different. Stop doing that. You're devaluing our point system.
Just like the American dollar.
It's getting better. It'd be better. It'd be more fair to compare it to the euro with the bullshit with Italy and
Greece.
Germany. Yeah, there you go. Well, they still use the euro.
I just talk about Greece in general. Sorry, Greeceland.
Like Greeceland.
I'm so
Jesus.
sorry. You're a fool.
Holy hell.
I'm fired.
And this is how BerserkerRage lost his way to talk for the rest of the podcast.
Oh my god. So much breath. You know when that happens on like Game Grumps and stuff, they have like a filter over it, so it doesn't smell like this. It doesn't smell like this.
No, it was great.
Self-editing. Anyway, my thing is, like, maybe
Son of a
some of the
bitch.
games that came out didn't, like, break the mold and all that, and, like,
The Cops of the Line broke the mold in the big way. That's all it was.
Well, I mean, but a lot of
The
games...
Walking Dead made adventure games cool again. Classic adventure games.
Yeah, that's true. The Walking Dead has a really neat system.
I haven't
But, like,
played
I mean,
it.
there
All
are
I
a
hear
lot of
about it.
games that, even if they didn't break the mold, they still, like, refined things. I mean, sure, they refined things that already existed, but refining something makes it more enjoyable. And as long as, I mean, like, the game doesn't have to be, like, the brandiest, newiest kind of system or anything. games just they need to be good, and they'll just kind of they'll start evolving when the time comes. It's like just with like the Wii U, and the Wii U will get tested, and we'll see whether that system works or not. And if it doesn't, they'll go on to a different system. Knowing Nintendo, they'll still try to milk the Wii U for about 6 years before they finally give it up. But
yeah, console lifespans have been getting like crazy long. They've been getting longer and longer as time goes on. They used to be pretty short.
Okay, maybe this year wasn't meh, but let's just say this year
was not innovative.
It was kind of like a stepping stone as opposed to an actual like leap, stair.
It still feels like we're in transit to something really cool that we haven't quite hit yet. So you feel like this has all been good, but it's just biding your time until something explodes, and then everyone's like, Jesus Christ!
Nothing has happened this year
that made anyone do that exaggerated Jesus Christ yell.
Yeah,
it's been mostly like big name sequels. Like it's not like, oh, Diablo 3 is going to push the mold. It's like, oh man, Diablo 3, that's the sequel to Diablo 2, and I love Diablo 2, so I'm excited.
So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say that Team Smartest and Strongest has been defeated.
Aww. Do you want some trombone to be sad with you?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay.
And with that, I think you guys get to make your closing statements, and I can't say anything. So.
All right, Taylor, you go first, and I'll go after you.
This year's been pretty cool. Not the coolest, but not bad. Certainly not meh.
The end.
Well, I mean, it's a decent sentiment. But my thing is, I'm not worried about it. Like, I noticed myself too that there haven't been giant innovations, but I'm really excited to see what the Wii U is gonna do. People can develop for that a lot more easily than they can develop for the Wii because there's no motion crap to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
So a lot more developers are excited about it. So I think there's going to be a lot more games coming out for that are actually going to be worth playing. It won't be just trash games like every game for the Wii. And then, okay, not every game, sorry.
That's marginally unfair. But only marginally.
And I just think that, while we wait for all the good stuff to, blow out of the stables, we can just sit back and enjoy, the stuff from the series that we already like.
Everybody go play XCOM.
Yeah, you should definitely go play XCOM and make all your friends and let them die.
Don't let them die, but they will die.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna.
And I think that's a good place to stop. All your friends are gonna die.
Yay!
Hooray!
See you guys next week. Maybe. Next time.